where are you at right now, Victoria? Like, where is your home base location?
My
Let's
home base is in Toronto.
Toronto.
Yeah,
Okay, we love it.
I know. So I grew up in Toronto, born and raised, and then I moved out to Vancouver for like 4 years. I did my undergrad there, and then now I'm back in Toronto.
Why move back?
Well, I graduated in May of 2020. Yeah.
Right around COVID. Okay.
Yep, like right as she kicked off. And I had no money. I had no job prospects. So I moved back in with my parents for a stretch. And the other thing was like no one, like obviously we all remember, but like if you really think about it, like we had no idea what was going on.
No, we really didn't. I
We
didn't.
had, yeah, no one had any idea what was going on. And it was just like I was living out there. My sister was out there as well, and she still is out there. So we had each other, but like my roommate had moved out. I couldn't afford my apartment on my own. It was kind of just like really scary. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go back. I'm gonna move back home. I'm gonna live with my parents. I wasn't employed, so I was like, I might as well hang out with other people who are not employed, which was my other sister. So
And yeah. And then I guess, are you still living at home? Like, how's that
no, I'm
going?
actually right now, like in this moment, I'm currently in my parents' home.
Okay.
I'm not living here though. I am currently in my childhood bedroom. I don't
Oh,
live here anymore.
cool.
But I live in Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. So this is I guess, the room that you're like, let's pursue music. Let's pursue this passion. Like, takes back memories, you think?
A mix. I would say currently the reason I'm in here is because it's a quiet room and my apartment is not a quiet space. This is actually now my mom's office.
Oh, cool.
So she's also not here. So I'm just kind of commandeering the space. But like there's still stuff that's mine, like the guitar is mine and like the furniture in here is still mine, but it's not really like it's more just like a place of convenience, we'll call it for today.
That's good. That's always good for the convenience.
Yeah.
Go back to the family house, go back to the parents' house and be like, hey, I miss you, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steal some food, grab a bottle of wine, be like, "Oh, you guys don't even need this. Don't worry about it."
Exactly. You just take it all in, You're good, you're good. But
We live out that starving artist stereotype.
I guess, what made you want to get into music then, Victoria?
I it sounds like so cliche. I'm one of those people who just like have has always written music. Like I always joke the first song I ever wrote, the first song I ever wrote was about a stuffed cat that I had that I got for like my 7th birthday or like 6th birthday. The cat was named Tickles. And I wrote a song on the piano and I didn't know. I like couldn't even spell all the words. Like my mom had to help me like write out the words. And I wrote it on like this really old, like I typed it out on like this really old like IBM computer my parents had in the basement.
Cool.
And I didn't even like understand how songs worked. So it was all just like there was no like line breaks or like chorus or anything, but I wrote it and I was like, I'm so proud of myself. And then from there, I just became obsessed with it. Um, as I got older, like I've always been such an anxious person. Um, and songwriting has been really one of those things that has like really saved me in over the course of my life. Like I don't know who I would be or like where I would be without it. And so I always say like even if I stop kind of like having an artist career, I'll keep writing music. I'll write music for the rest of my life. I just feel really lucky that I get to put it out and that people want to listen to it when I put it out. And like I write music for me, I put it out because other people want to hear it. Pursuing music is something that just like felt like a natural progression of where I was in my life.
Are you in a good place, you feel like, now, after
Yeah,
all
like
the progress?
I mean like I still have anxiety. She still lives in me. She's my friend now, not my enemy.
That's good.
Um, it's one of those things that like if you have like chronic mental health problems, like there are ups and downs, and there are always ups and downs. It's not like I'm always at 100, but I think that's like that with anything. Like people experience like stress on a regular continuum, and every day is not the best day ever. I just think that like sometimes I might have some lower lows than some people do. And that's okay.
It's I feel like it's part of life. You go through the stages, you go through different stuff. It happens.
Yeah, it is part of life. And like it's also just like taking care of yourself. Like I also like, anxiety is not the only chronic condition I have. I have like asthma as well, like lots of people, and I can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna run in the cold and not bring an inhaler and then smoke a pack of ciggies and then like call it a day. You know what I mean? Like
Let's
you've
go
got
to
to
yeah. The Canadian out. Let's go to the six. Yeah.
yeah, you gotta like you just gotta take care of yourself, and like it looks different for everything. Like for my mental health, like it I talked about it on like Instagram and TikTok. Like running has really changed my life. I have a therapist. I talk about that online. Just all those things. Like I can't just be like, oh, I like brush my hands clean of it. I'm done now. Life is good. Like you gotta take care of yourself.
Yeah. I feel like everyone needs someone to talk to. Like for myself, like I don't have someone to talk to right now, but I'm like maybe one day I'll actually go out and be like, let's go back to therapy and see how that goes. But if you surround yourself with actually decent friends, family members to help you out, and then honestly you're pretty much solid then.
Yeah, and I'm not in the camp that like every person ever needs a therapist. Like I don't think that's true. I don't think like a therapist is a medical professional. I don't think every person ever needs like I'm trying to think like an allergist
An
or
allergist?
like not every person ever needs to see every medical professional. Like I've never been to a physio because I don't have physio problems.
True.
But if you are someone who like has problems in that like vein of healthcare needs, it's nice to have one. It's nice to have someone to check in with.
Definitely. Definitely. Everyone needs someone. I feel like
Yeah.
if you need something. If
Yeah.
if if there's an issue, go check it out. I feel like everyone should check that out. And there's some people that are honestly kind of stubborn towards that, but hey, it is what it is. It's part of life.
And it's like so easy to say that, but like when I first started getting help for my mental health, like I was so just like God, I was stubborn. Honestly, God bless my mother. She's been like such a champion for me. Um, but like I didn't want to do it. I was like, no, I don't need it. I'm fine. I'm all good. And my mom was like, I'm gonna let you know that this is not what fine looks like. And I was like, what are you talking about? So yeah, I think like it's really easy to be in a place where you've gone through it and it's gone well and you're like, well, duh, everyone should do it. But like it's really like even for me, and I'm like, I talk about it online and I'm talking about it here and like I'm a champion of like getting mental health support, but like even I was like, no, what are you talking about? I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. You're totally good. No, you're
yeah,
not, but that's
yeah,
that's 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 a thing. That's a whole
yeah,
nother thing. But
yeah.
cool. Well, who would you say your influence is for music though, Victoria?
Influences for music.
Mhm.
It's a little cliche, but I've been a Taylor Swift girly from the get
You
go.
a Swifty?
I've always been a Swifty. Yeah, I like just growing up. I mean, like growing up, and I was thinking I was 8 when her first album came out, and it was just everything. You know what I mean? Like to an 8-year-old girl, teardrops on my guitar. Had never experienced heartbreak before, but I was in it. I was in the trenches with her. And then like more recently, there's a couple of songwriters that I'm like just in love with. Anything that Jensen McRae writes, I will listen to. I will read her grocery list. I am a really big Hosier fan. I feel like he writes poetry and sets it to music more than he writes songs. You need like a PhD in English literature to understand some of his lyricism, but it's so good. Um, I'm trying to think what else. I grew up listening to like a lot of classic rock. So Elton John has always been like a top artist of mine. I really like Billy Joel. I saw the Eagles recently and they were great.
Dang, dang,
Yeah.
dang.
Kind of spreads the board. Like I love pop music. I love singer-songwriter music. I love classic rock.
You
Yeah.
got everything intertwined. Like honestly, with your music I listen to, it's singer songwriter, of course, but like
Yeah.
you got the whole entire mix and different influences.
Yeah, I think for me, like, and kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier, like songwriting has always been the focus. Like I've worked with some people and I know some friends in music and like they're really about the production or like really about kind of like the musicality of the song. But for me, like the focus has always been the lyric. So I've really identified with artists who are also like I would say lyric heavy artists, like storytelling artists.
Cool. Very cool. How's Toronto, I guess, for yourself, for like getting out there, getting your music out there? How's that been like for yourself?
I love Toronto. It's like I'm a
Mhm.
little biased because
Yeah.
I just like the city.
Well, yeah.
But I think in terms of music, like, is it the biggest music scene in the world? No, it's not. But like, it's probably one of the biggest in Canada. Like, I would say the other two larger cities I would have it would be Vancouver, and I like was there for a little bit. Montreal's got a pretty big one. But obviously, like I'm not I like can speak some French, but I'm not like a French artist. So it's more of a space for French artists.
Yeah.
There is like a growing music scene on the East Coast, like in
Hmm.
Halley and Fredericton. And so like I've definitely seen that bubbling a little bit. And I've heard like some murmurs and some rumbles about what's going on the East Coast. So
This
that's
is
kind of
new to me.
exciting.
Okay.
I know. I
Oh,
know.
what?
Um,
Wait, what are you hearing from the East Coast? Now I
I
need to
just
know this.
I've just like bumped in. Okay, to be fair, my dad's side of the family's from the East Coast, so like I go out there quite a bit. I like spend a lot of time out there, so like um
So
I do have the
you
opportunity to network a bit more out there than
you
maybe
know
your
the in
average.
then. Okay, that's
Maybe I'm the end.
maybe you are the in. You could
Maybe
be the
I'm
in
the
then.
end.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I really like Toronto. Though, like I know some just like mind-boggling talented artists from Toronto, and I know like some producers from Toronto, and like a lot of music from Hamilton. There's a lot, and Hamilton's proud of its music scene. Yeah, so I would say like kind of like Southern Ontario. It's like you could throw a stone and hit like a dozen good artists.
Jeez, okay.
I know.
Okay. You just pick from like a little crane, like one of those toy crane machines, and then boom, you pick up a good art. Like basically
Honestly,
it's like
like
that.
there's never a shortage of talented people.
Yeah. No. No. And especially in Canada with what we have for a music, like not a music what am I trying to say? The honestly with the government, they honestly support musicians very,
Yeah, like the
very
grant system. And
yeah.
everyone I've talked to who's not Canadian is like, oh, I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
You have the grant system.
Mhm.
And it's just like such a great opportunity. Like, even if I understand like it's competitive and not everyone gets it, but like it's still an opportunity that so many other places don't have. And I also think that like the bar, the barrier to entry in terms of music has gotten so much lower in the past like 10 years between like social media, at home producing, just like the amount of information you can find online about like how to get things done for your artist career versus like 10 years ago when you're kind of like, well, I don't even know how I would tackle this.
Honestly, social media has helped so much. The impact of TikTok, Instagram, where else? YouTube. Like
Yeah.
honestly, it's changed the last like 15, 10 years, like even 5 years. Like it has impacted so much last
Yeah.
generation.
Yeah. We're gonna look back like at right now in like 5 years and be like, oh, we had no idea what was coming.
True, true. It's like, what's going on here? What's happening? What is
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Toronto, I know like there's a lot of artists. I feel like if you I love that there's so many Toronto artists, but I feel like it's hard to get seen in Toronto. Am I wrong or no?
Um, yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there is like a really high saturation of artists, I would definitely say. But people in Toronto like are really supportive.
Okay.
Like I think it's a bit of like a we grow together type of mindset, at least like from the people I've met.
Yeah.
I understand that like not everyone has the same experience, but like people I've met are very much like, oh my God, like I'll come to your shows and I'll introduce you to my friend and I'll do this. And I also think like there's so many Toronto artists just by like the nature of it being like there aren't that many big cities in Canada. Like you got to go somewhere.
Yeah. You got it. Well,
There's
yeah.
only a handful of them, and if you're not in country music, you're probably not going to go to Calgary. So like, there's
Okay, that's a good joke. That's a good joke. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
yeah. So you're kind of like you've only got a handful to pick from. So and we're the biggest one. We're close to New York.
True.
So
I forgot about that because you guys have what is it, the bridge that connects to, I think, Buffalo? Is it Buffalo? I don't know.
maybe
I don't
yeah,
know.
it's close. We're
There's
close to the
yeah,
states.
you're close to the states. There's even a bridge that you could go to the states like literally in
No.
like a bit. But yeah, like literally you guys are so close to the states. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I feel like yeah, like I've seen a lot more in Toronto blowing up. Calgary especially has been blowing up the last like 3 years even, which is crazy to think about. I've seen more artists blow up in Calgary and then Vancouver, but I'm from Winnipeg, so like we have more or less somewhat of local scene, but nothing like wow, someone's blowing up out of the city from here lately. No one has. I feel like
Are you in Winnipeg now?
yeah, I'm still in Winnipeg right now. Like we do have a decent music scene. We do. Like honestly, it's growing massively, and I honestly think like comparable to Toronto, I feel like we are the Nashville of like the western part of Canada because we have shows. I don't know how it's like in Calgary or in other provinces, but we have a show honestly at this point almost every single day. There's something going on.
And that's the thing is like I think if you like create
Mm-hmm.
people just like want to make music.
Yeah.
Like no matter what they do, people want to make music and people want to listen to music. So like
Mm-hmm.
if you create the space for music to be played, people will fill it.
True. Very true.
You are not going to have any problem like and people will come in from out of town to fill it. People will
Mm-hmm.
if you create a space for music to be heard, people will be like, "I'll take it. Please, give it to me."
And that's
So,
one thing I love about musicians and artists and singer songwriter in general. Musicians I absolutely love because you'll see talent anywhere that you go. You'll see in bars, clubs, concert halls, or in general, you'll see anyone and honestly great talent everywhere.
yeah. No, it's like astounding and like I go to these shows and I'm like gobsmacked. Like I'm like, "Holy crap."
Mm-hmm.
You can get like a little bit of imposter syndrome though if you like because you're like, oh my God, they're doing it. How am I gonna do it? What are we doing?
It'll take some time. Don't you worry, it'll happen. That's what everyone
I
says.
know.
It'll happen.
I know.
It's more or less networking, but yeah.
Yeah, it is. And like honestly, like it's like so great to meet other artists who are so talented because like you just like the more people you network with and the more people you work with, like you're gonna be a better artist. Like I'm a better artist than I was like 6 months ago, than I was a year ago, because like just meeting more people and I'm getting more information and I'm collaborating with more people and like I'm writing things in different ways and I'm hearing things in different ways. And like just the more like no one has ever gotten worse from working with other people.
No, I don't think I've ever seen someone run backwards from working with someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your goal with music?
I just want to keep doing it.
Okay.
I just want to keep doing the do, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I I love it. Like it's so great. And I just want to keep doing it. And I want people like when someone reached out to me when I released my first single and they were like, "Hey, I just want to let you know that your song got me through an awful breakup." And I cried because I'm a crier.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, "This is all I've ever wanted. Thank you."
You impacted someone. Let's
I
go.
just like, and it's kind of one of those things that like we were talking about. Like I write music for me and I put it out for other people. Like I write music because it makes my life better. When I write music, I'm a better person. Um, and the fact that like maybe these songs can do that for someone else. And like I have had songs in my life that have just like so much changed the way I've seen the world. And like the way I've felt about certain situations, and like have given me a place to like identify with when like I just feel so confused. And the fact that like I get to do that for other people, and even if it's like 10 people, like that's great. So I just want to like keep doing the do until I can't anymore.
I was gonna say, are you gonna do the do until like you're 80 or 70, like in the older realm?
I don't know, like people can write music forever. Like, and as you get older, like you can even write about like the same thing, because like you like the situations that I have now, or that I'm in now, like I have my perspective now. Like my lens on the situation is only true now. And then in like 5 years, I'll see it differently. Like there are things that like I have things in my life, like when they happen, like you see them one way and then you look back on them and you're like, oh my gosh, like that's a totally different perspective. Like you've aged and you've matured and you've grown and it's not the same anymore. And so, and like my life experiences are going to change, and like the things that are happening to me are going to change. And so I don't think that like the therapy I find in writing music will ever go away, because like life will always be different.
True, very true.
Yeah.
Because life can change and just like that.
I know.
Yeah.
Always is.
Always does, honestly. You can't, yeah.
Even when you kind of think maybe it shouldn't change for a little bit.
I won't. And then it creeps up on you. And it's just like, dang it, not again.
Yeah. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, let's shift just a little bit.
What else is shifting? Why do you hate Niagara Falls so much? That's
Oh
what
my God,
I
I hate Niagara Falls. I hate Niagara Falls. Okay.
I need
I was
context. Honestly, I'm with you. I don't get the gist of why people love Niagara Falls so much. And
I
I
have
don't
a
know if that's the
smear
same.
campaign going against Niagara Falls, man. I think we should burn it to the ground. If the Tourism Board of Niagara hears this, feel free to email me. We can have a discussion.
I don't
I
advocate that tourism people. She does, not me, just saying. But anyways, continue.
No, there's two things. One thing is like when you grow up in Toronto, there's certain things that like people visit and like you do the same things over and over again. Like everyone who comes to Toronto wants to go to Niagara Falls. So I've been to Niagara Falls like 100 times, because everyone I know is like everyone who visits, like I have family from like out of the country. I have friends from like different provinces. And everyone's like, oh, we have to go see Niagara. And you go and it's the same waterfalls every time. And like it's like a full day for like 20 minutes. That's part one. Part two is I went on like just a brutal date to Niagara Falls.
Oh.
And that is where the whole smear campaign comes from. I went on just a tough date, man. It was, and like so my song Niagara came out. It's what the song's about. And the opening line is I drove my mom's car to Niagara for the weekend and I paid for all the gas. It is a true story. I drove this boy and his friends out to Niagara,
Friends?
and
Oh no.
and his friends and his it was tough. It was tough. I've been in, you know what? I've definitely I know my worth, but sometimes I'm on sale. You know, like I think I've definitely put myself in some situations where I've been like, we're worth more than this. And this was one of those. So I brought this boy out to Niagara. And we had been seeing each other for a couple months, and yeah, and that's the song. That's probably I don't want to say
Okay,
too
that's
much
fine.
because I don't want to slander anyone who
Yeah.
doesn't like deserve to be slandered. But the song speaks for itself if you want to go listen to it. And I think that's where my smear campaign from Niagara Falls started.
It's a good song. I'll say that. I was vibing to it. I'm like, yo, this is a pretty good song. And then I'm like, man, I need to know why you hate it so much. And then
I love the song, and Niagara has definitely been like one of those songs that has opened some doors for me. And it's one of those songs that like creating it, like I had so much fun making it. Like I got to work with Dan Hoche, who's based in Toronto, and I got to work with my sister on it. I got to work with Will Cran from Catherine North, and we just had like so much fun making it. Like it was so silly making the song. Like we got to do a lot of things that like I didn't really expect us to do. Like in the beginning, it's me and my sister and Dan just like you can hear talking in the background. It's like us just like shooting the shit in the studio. There's this noise in it that we spent forever to get, and I like somewhere in the chorus, and it's basically like us like trying to hit a ukulele in different parts to like try to get this noise. And like we knew the song was the song, and we just kind of got to play with it, and it was so fun to make. And so it's been like just so great having it out and having the reception for it be so well. Like
That's good. That's really
yeah.
good. How long did it take to make like the process of the song?
This song, the actual studio time, like we kind of split because I started it before Christmas of 23 and then finished it up after Christmas because like we took some time off to, see family.
Yeah, holidays.
Yeah. So I would say like a couple of months maybe, like not crazy long.
God.
It was definitely like one of those projects that came together faster for me because I can be quite laborious in making like those tiny minuscule decisions. But this one just was one of those songs that like I feel like it was one of the songs I like reviewed the least because I just was like, oh, she's ready to go.
Okay.
Like she's prepped. Yeah.
Nice. I like
Yeah.
that. Okay. Cool. Was
Yeah.
there anything that you wished was different about it or not?
No, no, I think it just like stands really well. Like I love the way it turned out. Like I listen to it. I don't know if that's vain to say. I listen to my own
That's
songs,
good.
but I think like if I wouldn't listen to it, then I don't think other people would listen to it. So I have to want to listen to my own music to be able to put it out.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like it's weird, honestly. I've talked to artists where they're like, yeah, I listen to my own music. And then there's others that I'm like, nah, man, I just listen to it in studio and then send it off. And then, yeah, like it's weird for certain artists that I've talked
Yeah,
to.
the other thing is I think like once you've put a song out,
Mhm.
you have heard it
Oh,
so
yeah.
many times. You have
Yeah.
heard it like maybe hundreds of times
Before it's out, usually.
before it's out. So it's new to everyone else, but it is old, old,
Old
old
news
to
for you.
you.
Yeah.
Um, so usually like you go through a window and like when you're promoting it, like you're hearing it and you're like putting that TikTok sound together and you're like trying to get it. It's like, but, and you're like, I just can't hear this part of the song anymore. Like I can't do it. And then after like a couple of weeks when you're like, I've blacklisted that song, you're like, oh, I can come back to it now.
Yeah.
It's kind of like with anything. Like if you have a song that like you've over listened to by like an artist that's not yourself, then you're like, I can't hear this song anymore. And then 2 months later, you're like, oh my God, I forgot about this song. This song's so great. But like you kind of do that with yourself because like you go through these windows where you're like after the mixes are done, like you go through X number of mix revisions and you're like, God, I never want to hear this song again. And then it's starting to come out and you're like, oh, it's kind of good. And by the time it comes out, you're like, nope, I've heard this so many times. And then you give it a couple months again, you're like, oh yeah, I like this song.
It's like a toxic relationship, but with music. Let's go.
I wouldn't call it toxic. I call it like exhaustive.
Exhausted. That's a new one. Okay.
Yeah, it's very like it's a repetitive relationship, maybe
Repetitive relationship, yeah. Sure.
cyclical.
Cool. I like the wordplay with this. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm down for that. Okay.
yeah,
You mentioned to me that you have new music coming out. I guess it's this week, right?
yeah. I got new music coming out
Oh.
this Friday, which is crazy.
Mm.
I'm so excited. This is definitely, I write sad girl music for sad girls, and this is that. This is a sad girl song.
Oh.
I
Oh.
know. I
Okay.
know. She's sad. This one, yeah. So Better is all about kind of my my struggle with mental health. And like we said, like you kind of go through these phases where you're better and then you're not better and you're better and you're not better. And when you're in one of those like kind of valleys, you know what it's like to be good and you're not good at the time. And you're kind of like, how am I not better than this? Like how, like I've been well and I'm not well now. And it's kind of that feeling of like, the line in the chorus is, am I not better? And you're like, why aren't I? How can I be here again? So that's what it's about. So like I said, sad girl music, but I'm really excited about it. And I think the song's really important. I like the way it came out. And I think it is really, there's a lot of like choices we made when we produced the song that I think speaks really well to just like my own situation. And I think maybe other people's situation about mental health. So I think that's going to be really, really hope people identify with it. I mean, like, I don't hope people identify with it because I hope people are doing well. But if you need to identify with a song about mental health, like I hope this
could be the song for you, possibly.
This could be in your corner,
There you go. There we go. That's good. How long did it take for you to make this song? Was it a couple months as well, or was it?
Yeah, it was actually in the same window that I created Niagara. So I created Niagara and Better, kind of side by side. So you'll probably, they kind of feel the same. Like they're not the same song, but they feel related.
Yeah, similar sound.
Yeah,
I would say, yeah.
Kind of in this era of music for me. So I hope that people who liked Niagara will probably like Better. And if you like Better, you're probably going to like Niagara. So
coincide with each other. Exactly.
Yeah,
good.
It's going to be that singer-songwritery, cry in your bathtub kind of song.
Yeah, we love those.
Yeah.
Get some wine. You're good.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you have like a project that you're working on right now, like a EP or album? Do you think you will at some point?
Albums are always so scary. Like I would love to do an album in the future. And I really want to. Like it's on kind of my artist bucket list, but it's one of those things that's like so intimidating. Like it's so exciting, but like it's a big project, and big projects, like, they cost a lot. There are a lot of time commitment. And so I'm really happy where I'm at right now, just like in the releasing singles. I had the EP come out last July and that was received so well. But I think like it felt like a lot of pressure on me to like have this kind of like holistic project. And I think just kind of where I'm at right now, like I'm happy doing the singles and maybe like a couple other EPs with an album down the road, but I'm just trying to keep it all fun, even though like it's an incredible career to have and I'm like love it more than anything. It can be really stressful. And you can put like a lot of internal pressure on yourself to be like the best you've ever been. Even if like two people hear it, you're like, it has to be best, has to be the best. So yeah.
Cool. Okay. So in the road there will be something. Not anytime soon, you would say.
I wouldn't hold your breath for an album. You could be holding it for a little bit. Wouldn't recommend it, but it could come. Yeah.
What about an EP? Would you say
EPs I would definitely say are on the horizon.
Okay.
Yeah, I would definitely I would definitely feel comfortable with the breath holding recommendation there. I would say they're a lot closer around the corner.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's some artists that you wish to work with in the future?
Artists that I wish to work with. Oh my God. How much time do you have?
We got time.
Artists that I wish to work with, like I can't. There are like, you get like your pipe dream artists. Like I'd love to work with Jensen McRae. I'd love to work with Holly Humberstone. I like would love I would love to work with the Beaches. I think the Beaches are so cool,
Oh,
and
the
they're from
beaches,
Toronto.
the beaches are amazing.
The Beaches are like incredible, and I just love them. It's also really cool that they're from Toronto. Like a girl group popping up from Toronto is like just so great. Women in music are the best. Um, but yeah, I would like to do more collaborative work in my career. Like it's a lot right now, it's a lot of me, 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 me. And I would like it to be some other people as well. Um, because kind of like we were saying earlier, like it makes you a better artist
Oh yeah.
and you get to share audiences and you get to find new people and connect with new people. And I think that's like it's the whole grow together mentality. Like I want to be part. I don't want like my artist career isn't just about like me being alone and like being a star. It's about like meeting other people who love music and just like talking about music and
True.
doing music things.
Yeah. Do you feel like you'll collaborate soon? Do you think like you're in the like I
I think
want
I'm
to
like
start this?
I think I'm in the pipeline of collaboration. I'm in the collaboration pipeline. I'm definitely like writing and co-writing and hanging out with some friends right now who I think we're not making bad stuff. We're making good stuff, I think. I might need a
Anything is
third
good stuff. I feel like anything that you work on.
I think might need a third party to verify my feelings about it, but um I'm feeling pretty good. I feel like yeah, my friends are so talented. Like I just want them to succeed and I want
Yeah.
them to do well. And I just want to like be on their team, you know? Yeah, I just want to be even if I'm just like throwing one word at the song, being like this word and they're like, "Yes." I'm like, "Woo! I contributed." I like have some friends who are just like so incredibly talented and if they're ever like, "Oh, like, hey, dude," I'm like, "Yeah, I'll introduce you. I'll help you out. I'll do it." Like, I think that there are so many people, and like, life is too short to gatekeep. You know,
Yeah.
like, just help people out where you can because it's a tough industry. Just make it easier for some people.
Yep. And it's such a big country, such a
I
big
know.
world in general.
Yeah,
And we're just in this little part of the world that we're like, let's do some music.
yeah. We're just off to the corner, vibing and vibing off to the side.
Yep. Yep. Live shows though. Have you done like a lot of live shows recently or any new live shows in the future?
I've got I've played live so much this year. I love playing live. Playing live was like one of the first things I ever did. I started playing live when I was like 14.
Oh, wow.
And
So early.
I did the market scene. Like I played farmers markets and I played like little local like family stuff in Toronto and um I've always loved playing live. And I've played at like some incredible venues in Toronto. Like and every venue is like so prepped and like ready to go. Like live music in Toronto is moving.
Right.
So I'm playing with the launch of the song this week. I'm playing the Drake Underground with Elfrida and Emma Campbell, and they're both like, I'm pretty much playing the show to hear them play live. Like I when they were like, who do you want to play with you? I was like, these two people. And I am just more excited to see them live than I am to see me live. So that I've got a showcase at Handlebar on September 22nd. So I'm really excited about that. Being a part of Breaking Sounds is like just such a great opportunity. Showcases are such a great way to just like get out and meet new people. And then, yeah, I like part of me wants to take a bit of time off from performing live and the fall. It's like personally a really busy time in my life. I'd like to get some sleep.
Sleep's good.
Sleep's probably good.
Mhm.
That being said, like I'm so addicted to playing live that if anyone offers me the opportunity to do it, I will always take it.
Yeah.
So if anyone listening to this wants me, I'll be there. I'll fly, I'll drive.
Okay.
Um but Yeah, so like I say I might take some time off, but I'm really bad at taking time off. Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. How many shows did you feel like that you've done this year? If you count off the top of your head, don't like actually count. Just think right now.
I want to say like 15,
That's decent. That's really decent.
15 maybe, and like they've all been like independently organized, so like
That's
it's
pretty good.
been,
That's pretty
yeah,
good.
like it's definitely been, like I'd say it's been close to one every couple weeks.
Insane.
Um so it's not like I'm like 15 doesn't sound like a lot. Like it's not like I'm like on tour and like playing every night or playing and like, but it is like it can be a lot
Oh yeah.
sometimes. And you know that you go and you play the show and the set's an hour, 2 hours, 45 minutes, but like you get there 4 hours in advance. You're there till the end of the night. Sometimes you're there till like 1 or 2, depending on how late you are and where you are in the set. And so it's like they're big nights. They're always big nights. And like you're prepping, like I'm prepping all week for the show on Friday. You gotta get your set list all sorted. You gotta practice your transitions and you gotta get your voice in shape. And it's not like, it's not like one of those things where like you come out for the 45 minutes, you pack your stuff up and you go home. Like it is,
No, no,
it
no.
is like an event.
That's never like that for shows. I don't think anyone has ever done something like that for a show. If they have, I want to see how that runs because I don't
Yeah.
know how. Because that is brutal. Then brutal.
Yeah. No, like they're an event.
Yeah.
And like organizing them and advertising for them and bringing them all out, like getting them together and like putting a successful show together. Booking agents, they're doing the real work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Heck yeah, we love our booking agents.
I know.
They big. But yeah, Drake Underground. I've heard about Drake Underground. I've never been to Drake Underground, but I've heard it's a decent actually sized venue, right? In the city? Ish.
It's 150 cap, I
Okay.
think. So like it's a good size. It's a great venue. Like
Yeah.
it's super cool. And I played there once. I played there a while ago. When did I play there? I don't know.
I
I
don't
think I
know.
played there in May.
Oh.
Um, I played there in April.
Oh.
And I played there in April. And so I played there this year. And like the staff is like on it. The venue is just like such a cool spot to play at. And like there have been bands that I've gone and seen there that I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited to see this band. So it's really cool. It's one of those like, just really cool experiences where you're on stage and you're like, oh my God, what, like I stood here and like
Right.
someone else stood here before me. And like I get those like really like giddy childhood moments where I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, like so and so is here and I get to be here and like that's so cool.
And also, you played in that venue and being like, I was on this stage with this artist played here, and I watched. I'm like, what? Right?
I know, like so cool. Like I remember I got to play the Horseshoe once. And the Stones used to use the Horseshoe as a warm-up spot before they would go play Maple Leaf Gardens. And my dad saw them there once, like, and I went up on stage and my dad's like, remember, Mick Jagger stood where you were about to stand. And I was like, thanks, Dad. That's it's really great for me to remember that. Thank you. I'm like not nervous at all now. I'm not panicking. Um, but it's one of those things where like it's just I feel like so even with like my little baby artist career, like I feel so fortunate because like I've got to do things that are just so cool. Like going into studio is so cool and it never doesn't feel cool. And like being on podcasts feels cool. And like writing music is cool. And like I get to play shows for people and they come out and they see me and that's crazy. Like if a fan ever comes up to me and when they're like, can I take a photo? Like I'm more excited to see them than they are to see me.
Oh, yeah,
Like
definitely.
I just think that like the career that I have feels so like special and I feel so lucky to get to do this and like that's the best.
Yeah, yeah. Like for me, I'm a photographer in the city, and literally for me, recently, the last like year or two, it's gotten to the point where I'm starting to get people to actually ask for photos with me. I'm like, okay, this is strange and weird. Once you get
Yeah.
that, it's weird, but also it's crazy to think about. It's like this is cool.
It's like the best experience. And like, it's hard because like you can get so caught in the weeds of like stressing over like the font on an album cover. And like, but like I get to make an album cover. Like, that's cool.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? Like you get so lost in the weeds of being like, oh, like this little the snare sound isn't right in the third chorus, or like this isn't like my show was good, but like I mucked that one note up. And it's like, yeah, but like I get to do these things. And I'm so lucky. Like my younger sister, like she checks me sometimes because I'll get super overwhelmed. She's like, yeah, but you get to do this.
that's
And
good.
like there was a point where like you couldn't get on stage in Toronto. Like you just couldn't book a show on stage in Toronto. And she's like, and you're at the stage where like you're booking lots of shows in Toronto and you would have begged to be in this place. So she's like, just take it and like appreciate it for what it is. Cause there's gonna be a time where like things are gonna change and you're gonna be wishing that like that you were doing this now. And like you took more like you're gonna wish that you stopped to smell the roses a little bit.
Hmm, okay, I like that. I like the
Yeah.
energy. Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
What's one thing you didn't know when you first did your first show, but now it's basically a breeze of doing? Good to know.
One thing I didn't know. That's a really good question.
Hmm.
One thing I didn't know when I did my first show that I wish for me, like there are certain parts of my job that I feel like I know really well, and there are certain parts that confuse me. Sound engineering and sound technicians is one of those parts. Um, like just when they'll be like, "Do you have IEMs?" I'm like, oh. I was like, I don't know what that means. They're like, do you need a patch cable? I was like, maybe. I just have a guitar. I brought a guitar. Someone told me to bring a guitar. I have one now.
That's good. That's
And
really
just
good.
like not walking around like a chicken with my head cut off anymore is a really nice feeling. Cause like now I've got a system and like I understand what's going on and I know like the jargon and the terms um and I think that's like one of those things. Like I used to find shows really stressful just because of like the sound portion of it. And I was always worried I was unprepared because I was always worried that there's something that I didn't know that I didn't know. And I'm sure there are still things that I don't know that I don't know. And we'll get to that stage and we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Heck yeah.
But right now, I feel like I know my set pretty well. I know my setup pretty well. I'm feeling good about it.
That's
And if
good.
it changes, I'll cry and I'll deal with it then.
It'll happen the day of, and then it's just like, oh no.
I'll show up and they'll be like, "Where's your pedal board?" And I'll be like, "I don't have one." And then we'll figure it out.
Exactly. It'll happen when it happens. You'll get it when you get it. Yeah.
And you know, the show will be what the show will be. Live music. That's part of the fun of it. It's you get some good shows, you get some bad shows,
Yeah.
and the gamble.
It gambles. You get the good parts and you get the bad parts. It happens. You're good. You're good.
I always think of like when Noah Khan did his shows in Australia, his entire band got left behind. Like his entire band didn't make it because I think there was a storm where they were flying out of, and he flew out the day before or something.
Yeah.
And he played the entire show, like no set, no band,
Just
no
acoustic.
nothing, just like him
Hmm.
and like an acoustic with a DI
That's insane. I love
and
that.
like you know, like the show will be what the show will be. Like you can make it work and you can make it incredible. And everyone was like, "This is the coolest thing ever!" Like I got to see Noah Connick unplugged. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god!
That's a
Like,
once in a lifetime experience, and you don't get
yeah. And
any of
so
those ever.
no, and so like I think like you can make a great show and you can still connect with people like no matter what makes it to the stage.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even supporting like local artists is the best time to do that. Like you are growing, like you're starting out where Noah Khan was basically doing that one time of like, hey, he was one point where you were,
Yeah.
and everyone was. So support local artists, local musicians where they are right now, and be supportive of them because they're
Yeah,
trying to make it.
and my show's like quite chill. Like my show is like quite, I would say, conversational.
Oh,
I don't want to use the word interactive, but we use the word interactive. Like I think when I'm on stage, like my goal is always to connect with the people who are in the audience. Like that's my one priority because I think so much of my career is about storytelling.
right.
And so some of that storytelling like happens on stage.
Okay.
And I think that's just like really important to me to like have that time and that window to elaborate more on the stories that are in the songs, that like not everything makes it to the page. So
Definitely. Okay. Cool. What was
yeah.
your first concert you ever went to?
This is so embarrassing. When I was 11,
Mhm.
I had floor tickets to Glee Live.
What?
That was the first concert I ever went to. And I went with my dad and my younger sister, and we saw Glee Live.
Your dad's a trooper. Let's go.
And that was the first concert
I love your
I
dad.
ever went to.
I love your dad. Let's go.
I know. And
Let's
it
go.
was, and I think I went with a friend of mine as well. I think it was three like 10-year-old girls and my dad.
Wow.
And we watched the whole thing, and I was blown away. It was everything I ever wanted for 10-year-old me, but or like 11-year-old me. I was in grade 6, I think. And it was so fun, but that is the first concert I ever went to. And I wish it were not that. I wish that were not the answer, but
Okay,
it
then
is the
what's your
answer.
following one that wasn't Glee then?
I think the following concert I went to, I think it was Nikki Yanofsky, and it was like in Massey Hall. It was a jazz concert. She's a Canadian artist. Some people know her, some people
I've heard the
don't.
name before.
She sang the 2010 Olympic theme song.
Oh, her.
Yeah.
Cool.
So my parents had seen her, like she sang an event that my parents had gone to, like, and she was like a child prodigy at like 14. And she had sang in an event my parents had gone to, and they had handed out like CDs for her. It was part of the package. And I just was like, oh my God, she's so cool. So I think like the second concert I went to was Nikki Yanofsky.
That's crazy. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, at Massey Hall.
Damn.
So yeah, which is a better answer than Glee Live.
Honestly, just do for future interviews, just say, nah, it's making me nasty. Yeah,
Uh,
just do that. Just do that and say
I know. I think it's a funny story
it's a
though,
good
and
story.
it was like the late 2000s, early 2010s. Glee was big.
Yeah, it happens. Like for me, I went to my first originally my first concert was supposed to be Big Time Rush. And
Slay.
that got canceled. They canceled the whole entire tour across Canada. And then my actual first concert was R5. You know
Mm,
R5. It
with
was
Ross
yeah,
Lynch.
Ross Lynch's his band at the time, his enchanted
Yeah,
band. So that was my
yeah.
first concert. And then I guess if you count second concert would be Bruno Mars.
Oh, nice, nice,
Yeah.
nice, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm in my concert bag right now. I'm going to every concert I can.
That's good.
My wallet is feeling it. We're doing what we can.
Yeah. I always get what is that? I don't know if you get this on your TikTok page, but I get the what is it? The girl from Toronto. She always says, "Oh, you want to check out a free concert here in Toronto?" There's this girl. I don't know if you follow
I've
her.
never seen her. I'm gonna have to go look
What?
at this.
What?
Um,
She literally gives like so many ideas for people in Toronto to like check out a free concert
Maybe I
like
have.
that. Or
I'll let you
yeah.
know the concert I'm going to right now though, they are not free. I am not
Well,
going to
yeah.
free concerts right now. I'm spending on concert tickets, and honestly, I don't regret it. If I'm being
Good.
honest,
Good.
I've got no regrets.
You're in Toronto. There is
Um,
no regrets.
yep, God, live music is so good. It's so good. Yeah. So I'm seeing, who have I seen this year? So the Eagles, Saw Noah Kahan, saw Holly Humberstone, saw Olivia Dean last fall, so like in the last year. Saw Liz McAlpine, saw Mount Joy. I'm seeing, I got quite a big couple like pop. I'm seeing Kaleo in the fall, which I'm really excited about. Got like a couple big pop heavy hitters in the fall. I'm seeing Billie Eilish, seeing Sabrina Carpenter, seeing Taylor Swift.
You guys are getting Billie Eilish. I hate you guys.
I'm so excited
Wait,
to
you
see
did
Billie.
get Taylor Swift tickets.
I got Taylor Swift tickets.
Damn.
I'm going on my birthday.
Oh, that's huge.
Yep. So I'm going on my birthday with my two sisters and my best friend. And I'm really excited. Childhood me is ecstatic. I know.
I'm still pissed that you guys get Billie Eilish. I'm sad.
Yeah, Billie Eilish is. I feel like she's gonna put on a good show, man. I think, yeah, my fall is like all year. I've kind of been seeing a lot of like folk indie artists, like smaller artists, independent bands, like, and then this fall is just everyone's having pop girl summer. I'm having pop girl fall. I'm seeing them all.
Hell yeah, that's
know.
good. Yeah, honestly, all the pop bars are coming in fall, I believe. Yeah.
Everyone's on tour right now, and you know what? I'll buy your tickets. I'm susceptible to your marketing. I will do it. And you know what? They haven't even put the album out, and I bought the tickets. They don't even put the album out, and I'm like, I'm there. I've bought so many tickets for shows where the album hasn't come out yet. I've just risked it for the biscuit.
Is that too risky sometimes, or is it?
No, because I haven't been disappointed yet. Like I bought Lizzie McAlpine tickets, hadn't heard the album. It was a great show. Haven't Sabrina Carpenter's album. I don't think it is even out yet. But I bought tickets, and I'm please, 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 and Espresso were great. I'm sure the rest will be great. Billie Eilish, bought the tickets, hadn't heard the album. Album's fantastic. So
I forgot Sabrina's coming to you guys too.
Yep.
That's it. I'm moving to Toronto.
You know what? That's the one benefit is like, cause there's not that many like people, if they're gonna do like sometimes like North America tour, but it's like the US plus Toronto.
That's it.
Sometimes Vancouver. Sometimes like when they're in Seattle, they'll pop up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like a lot of the big artists come through, which is definitely good. And we've got like those really big venues to hold them, which is great. Yeah, but the cost of tickets in North America is just like so exorbitant. And like, I know so many people who went to Europe to see artists because it was cheaper to fly to Europe than it was and buy the ticket than it was to buy a ticket in Canada.
Insane to think about. Yeah, I think even my sister was looking at even going for Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, I think it was cheaper for her to go to Switzerland than buying a ticket here in Canada.
Most people I know have like gone, like most people I know have already seen it and they saw it in Europe.
Crazy. That's insane to think about. Wow.
Yeah. And like at least now they have like some artists are doing like the resale at face cost. Like I know when we bought Noah Kahan tickets in the spring, we couldn't we bought 2 extra and we weren't sure because we had friends who wanted them, but then they got their own tickets. So but we couldn't resell them for higher than like we had bought them for. Like when you relisted them, it was like, you cannot sell them for more than like, if you spend $100, you can't list them 100 to 1. Like you can list them for 100. And so that's just like really like sometimes you get like when I bought the Taylor Swift tickets, I got them firsthand. Really lucky because so many people didn't. But then like we just kind of looked at what our tickets would go for, and like we spent a good amount on our tickets. Like it wasn't exorbitant, but we could have listed our tickets for a collective $20,000. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like that's a university education.
So who wants to go see Taylor Swift for a university education? Or Taylor Swift? Let's go.
Yeah, like I was like it's a little.
It's excessive, I feel like.
It's a little excessive, and you can't. And like,
she has I honestly feel like her and management or whatever, Ticketmaster has the capabilities to cap it, but they don't want to.
I don't. But the thing is, like, if they're, I think, like, if someone's reselling it, like
Mhm.
Ticketmaster's making more money, but like
Mhm.
Taylor Swift's not making more money. Like if I buy the ticket and resell it, like I don't have to give Taylor Swift a commission of the ticket that I
Yeah.
resell.
No.
So so like I don't know if it was like the feature wasn't out yet. Like I know I've only heard of the feature as of recently,
Mm.
and I've only bumped into it with concerts as of recently, but like I don't know if it's something that's like new
Might be
or
new.
if it's something that was like she just didn't realize how out of hand it would get. Like, I don't know. I'm not in the room where it happens.
True.
So
That's
we can
fair.
only speculate.
Yep. Sometimes we like speculate. We just like to see how it goes. But yeah.
Yeah, like, and I don't know. Like, I understand, like, I understand people who want to sell it for more, capitalism, baby. But like, sometimes you gotta just like, some of these people who are selling it for so much money, like, it's one thing to make $50. It's another thing to make $4,000. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, that happens. But
yeah,
someone needs to get money in this economy now.
yeah.
It's brutal.
It's crazy.
But oh, that happens. If you think you could talk to yourself from a year from now, what would you tell yourself?
If I could talk to myself a year from now,
Mm-hmm.
I would ask if I'd gotten more sleep. That's pretty important. I would definitely suggest that to myself.
Man, I'm seeing more and more people say this answer. This is freaking me out. It's so strange. Why is everyone saying this?
I think like it's just so easy to burn the candle at both ends and like feel like every decision is like the biggest decision ever. And like
Mm-hmm.
you get so caught in the weeds and you can't see the forest for the trees. And you just need to take a break sometimes. So I'd say that's one thing. I just want to always remind myself to like keep having fun with this.
That's good.
Like if I stop being an artist, the economy doesn't stop. Like I'm not gonna shift the world's economy if I change career paths. Like you know what I mean?
Who knows, honestly, at this point?
But like I want to make sure that like I'm doing this for the right reasons. And right now I really feel like I am. And I want to make sure I'm doing this because I'm having fun and because I love what I do and not because like I just feel caught in this like pressure. Like, especially because there's so much of this industry that's like metrics based. Like you can always get more followers. You can always get more streams. You can always get more monthly listeners. You can always make more money and I don't want to get caught in the rat race of it all. Like I want to make sure I'm doing it because it's the thing that I love to do
Yeah.
and not because I just feel like I'm like challenging myself to be competitive for the sake of.
Do you feel like you're competitive or no?
Oh, I'm definitely competitive.
Okay.
I get that from my mother.
Okay.
I'm a very competitive person. I would not suggest playing cards with me. It's a violent sport. But it's important to remember that like you like there's good competitive, there's drive and there's hard work, and then there's like a toxic competitive that's like, well, you've reached your goal and you're already looking at the next one. Like you're just not, it's just not enough.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. What do you want the people to know about you? Shout yourself out, Victoria. Tell the people what's upcoming,
What?
everything. Yeah.
Go listen to Better. I think it's great. Obviously, I wouldn't put it out if I didn't think it wasn't, but I'm really passionate about, this song. Follow me on all your socials. It's Victoria_staff on all your socials and Victoria Staff on all your platforms. And yeah, if you like my music, reach out, let me know. I like to talk to people. I like to know that people like it. And I'm building a community of friends. So just come join.
Cool. Just join. Just
Yeah.